We are done being a coach or healer who's transforming lives, but you're barely making it. You're only doing it as a side hustle when you really wish you were doing that as your main thing. Or you're doing it as your main thing, but you're not making sufficient money. We're done with that. Today, I'm going to teach you exactly what I did to be a sustainably happy, abundant, in flow, effortlessly coach, hypnotherapist who works with women every single day, transforming lives, living a life that I hear many of you say that you desire to have. You're going to know exactly how to do that for yourself. For whatever amount that it is that you desire to make a year or monthly, that this is your reality. My name is Giselle Beaumais. I'm a neuroscience master's grad candidate and a hypnotherapist. I work with women every single day to open them up to the abundance of money by removing the blocks that prevent it. I remember there was a time that I was super frustrated because I was doing all the right things. Okay, I'd purchased every course, and most likely so have you. In fact, put in the comments if you have taken every course, like that is supposed to bring you success and you're still not there yet. Like you're frustrated. You're like, yep, I did everything. I did all the stuff. I did all the course. And here's the thing. It's not about the things. You can do all of the steps. Trust me, you can do all of the steps that are supposed to lead you to success. And the steps don't work. The action don't work. Okay, because our reality is constructed from the inside out. It's from the inside out. You can also say all the affirmations. You probably do. You probably have a whole list of affirmations. You probably have a vision board. You probably do visualization. You probably live in the end result. But yet here we are. Your coaching practice, your healing practice is not making enough money. And you're doing things that you were, maybe doing side work or 9-to-5 work that you don't even really like, but you're not actually making the income from what you would really like to be making it from. And I'm going to tell you right now what it was that put all the pieces together for me. And you are probably going to think, but it seems so simple. It was simple. It was simple. Creating the life that you desire should not feel hard. In fact, that's one of the first clues. If you're really trying really hard, you're probably in the wrong path. The first thing that I did, I worked on changing my perception. We view our reality through our perception. How you see the world is how the world will be. And I was very much in my victim mentality, in my lack mentality, scarcity. Things were going to be hard. I had to hustle for it. I had to work really hard for it. It happens to other people, but not to me. I'm not good enough. I need more training, okay? A lot of you are overqualified when it comes to your training. In fact, put in the comments if you have more than one training, more than one certification. I did all of that, but it was when I started to change my perception. I started to use a lot of reframing in how I see the world. And I started to surround myself with others that were already thinking in the ways that I wanted to think, that I wanted to be. And through that, I changed how I saw everything, from scarcity and lack to, wait a minute, there's abundance everywhere in the world. And through that process, I also started to change my subconscious beliefs. Because in order to start to change my perception, a lot of my subconscious beliefs that were holding me back and blocking me started to show up. And I knew that when I was having a hard time with various ways that I wanted to see life, and I couldn't see life in that way. It was uncomfortable in my body, or I knew that I didn't really believe it. So I did a lot of subconscious reprogramming. Because a lot of what we believe and the patterns in which we live and the things that we think don't even belong to you. They belong to others. The people that raised you, your surroundings, your community as you were growing up, and you took them as your own, but they're not necessarily yours. So I did subconscious work to clear that. That's part of the reason why I ended up becoming a hypnotherapist. Now, the work that I do with others, I don't necessarily need to hypnotize them to change them. We do a lot of subconscious reprogramming to get to that point. But changing my subconscious beliefs allowed me to change my perception. The other thing is that I recognized that manifestation was not about just thinking on the end result and all of a sudden things would happen. There's a lot in between that was being left out in a lot of the teachings, and it made it hard to create the reality that I desired until I decided, universe, teach me. Universe, teach me the laws of the universe. Teach me how life works. And I did that through hours of meditation and opening myself up to receive. But you know what really, really made it from abstract to actually practicality, being able to implement it? It was neuroscience. Neuroscience created a framework for manifestation to really come alive in my life. It went from just abstract, which, there's a lot of abstract information out in all the videos that you probably watch, but it's the practicality that's often missing. And I'm not talking about things like write an affirmation 100 times, but on your daily basis, the things to do, the actions to take. And so when I started using neuroscience, I recognized that there are things that I could do to train my brain to success, to alignment to the life that I wanted to live. And that including changing my thinking patterns, going from thinking that life had to be in one way to thinking in a new way. And while that took time, because it's creating a new neural pathway, once you put the time into it, it's done. It becomes your new way of thinking. So I started to see life differently, but also thinking differently through changing my neural pathways. I started to see opportunities that I was blinded to before, because that's what's happening. You are increasing your levels of consciousness through this work. And so you start to see and receive opportunities that before you were not getting, and different pathways for creating the abundance that you desire. And then I allowed for play. I allowed for a lot of play. I did things that filled my soul that had nothing to do with my work. So I surf. So I allowed myself to surf. I allowed myself to ride my bike. I allowed myself to go to the gym and do somatic work through doing lifting. I allowed myself to daydream. I allowed myself to be in the elements of nature. And in those ways, it's almost like you're creating creative capacity in your mind for all of those ideas and aligned actions to come through. I acted immediately when I got them. I didn't wait 2, 3, 4, 5 days. When you get an aligned action, when you get an idea, act on it immediately, as soon as possible. You start to create momentum. It's almost like all of a sudden these other doors and pathways start to open for you because you're taking immediate actions. The laws of the universe doesn't just include the law of attraction. And that's the mistake that a lot of people do. They just focus on the law of attraction. There's the law of vibrational frequency, which happens through play. There's the law of action, which happens through taking immediate actions on those ideas that you receive. Do not and did not attach myself to the result. Meaning, I understood manifestation is about who I am becoming much more than what I am manifesting. So I focused on really living in the process, allowing for the process, enjoying the process. And yes, even when it seemed like the manifestation was taking forever, release that. The money that you will exchange for your work is not the thing that's going to give you the feeling that you desire, that satisfaction, that fulfillment, that ease, that freedom. It's not actually the money. I know it seems like it would be, but it's not. I know plenty of people. I coach some people who have plenty of money and don't have the sense of freedom, fulfillment, satisfaction. Okay, so you need to become that version of you and live in that and enjoy the process of that much more than you're falling in love with a particular amount that you want to make from your business. These things all increased my levels of consciousness, my frequency, and through that, everything that was in that frequency of abundance came into my life. You are changing people's lives. You're having a transformation. There's an exchange of the energy of that. And the exchange is the investment that your clients put into themselves and what they receive as a result of that. It's an exchange. It's a mutual exchange. And through the process that I just described, you open yourself up to that being effortlessly, to being in flow, to being easy, so that you are having the kind of days that you desire. You are making the income that you desire without working 40 hours a week. And none of it feels hard while you're making an impact, because you are majestic. You're so much more powerful than you realize. I cannot wait for you to realize it.